Alright, now that I have my designs cut, you want to make sure that you sand the actual design itself. So again, here's the design that I cut and I sanded on the spindle sander. And here's one that came just straight from the bandsaw. So you want to make sure you get rid of all these machine marks and any burn marks that are in there. When you're sanding, make sure that you start from 120, then move up to 180, and last do 220. Okay, and you want to make sure you get out any machine marks so you can kind of see some marks from the planer or whether there's marks from it being moved around or scratched around. What I would suggest helping with that is we have these mats underneath here. So once we actually start in this process of sanding, you can take these mats and set that on here. The reason being is since these tables are kind of dinged up and there's other glue marks on there, it just helps protect your material once you sand it. So all you're going to do is you can take with the palm sander, you can sand 120 and 180. Then last you would take a piece of 220. Here's a piece of 220. And then once you have it sanded, then you just want to go with the grain and sand it. The reason why you want to take a scrap block is your hand has all these bumps on it. So we want to make sure that we get a nice smooth finish or surface on there. So that's what that scrap piece of wood helps with. You can grab a little bit bigger one. This is just the first one that I grabbed. And you would just sand with the grain. Again, make sure you're not going against the grain because you're going to leave scratches and you want to try to take out any scratches. So you start with 120 palm sander, switch once you have that done, then move up to 180 with a palm sander, and then you can do 220 by hand. So, you can see that there's a little bit of pencil mark left here, so I can keep sanding. Make sure that if you're not pushing down on it. If you end up pushing down, what happens is you end up putting extra stress on the motor itself, and so it'll actually eventually will burn out the motor. Okay? And the reason why the way we avoid that is by just making light marks when we do our marking or any pencil marks that we do. You can kind of see here that I'm starting to get a little bit of the machine marks out, but they're still there. Okay? And that was just with a quick pass. I think I spent, what, 10 seconds on that? When you're sanding, make sure that you sand the edges themselves. You sand the edges, but do not sand your miters. Okay? Because what happens is it'll start to roll on you like this, and then when we fit them together, it's not going to give you a tight miter joint. Okay? So you want to stay away from the miters. Basically, just focus on your faces, your edge, and your design. Okay, so your two faces, your edges, and your design. That's really all you have to sand.